Let's go! Welcome to the 1.7 podcast, the place where creatives get to speak the truth about ourselves, our art, and our place in the world. Hey, welcome to podcast 1.7.
Yeah.
I've got with me my guest, Kaity. Kaity has been friends of mine for
God, a long time now.
10, 15 years.
Yeah, something like that. It's been a while, dude.
Yeah. Tell our viewers a little bit about yourself. You are a singer, an entrepreneur. She probably does like 360 shows a year. I'll give her 5 shows for packing all the stuff up. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, all right. I went to, I started singing professionally when I was like 14.
Yeah.
And then, I've been doing this for a freaking long time. And then I went to school for musical theater, but I didn't like it. Like, I didn't like just doing the same show over and over again. And then, of course, when you're in theater, like, you have to, like, you just have to take whatever, because music is tough, but theater is worse. Yeah,
in theater, you got to be able to sing.
Yeah, and, like...
And move.
And it's just, like, the pool of people is huge, and the opportunities are very small.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And so I switched over because I was just bored of it. I didn't like it, and I didn't want to be doing like nonsense at Chanhassen and dinner theaters like for the rest of my life. So I switched over to music like while I was in college, because I had actually gotten lucky and gotten some like professional theater jobs while I was in college. Switched over to music. And my first producer I ever worked with was out of Paisley Park, oddly enough.
Whoa.
And, it was super cool. And, I got a lesson in how to, do backups and like recording and stuff. And, he was very...
Like background vocals.
Yeah.
Background vocals. Wow.
Yep. And like how to like stack vocals and stuff. Cause he was going through all these singers. They just didn't know how to do it. It's blinking again.
Blinking again.
Damn it, Ryan!
Keep going. We'll just keep it going.
All right, and so learn how to do that, and then just kind of fell in love with more like contemporary music.
Yeah.
So then basically my senior year, I knew that I was gonna make the switch from like musical theater to like just straight up music, and then just started gigging a lot, and I got into a good band. Of course, when you're young, you get into stupid bands that are terrible for you and do stupid things. Yeah. Yes, you have to put in your dues. You have to pay your dues and get into bad bands and like learn. But then I got into a good band called Surly Jones, and we opened up for a regional band around here, which is now a national band called Hairball. And we played a lot of coliseums, a lot of arenas. And I learned how to like work a stage in front of like thousands as opposed to like hundreds. So I learned that skill.
Yeah, I still learned that skill. I still want everybody to just rock with me.
Yeah, it's like, dude, it's like a whole different thing when when you're performing in front of like 50 versus like 100 versus 500 versus thousands. You change your whole thing.
It's a whole different
thing. Learned that, and then I actually took 2 years off after a bad stint with an original band, and then came back, and that was about 8-9 years ago, and now I'm in like 4 different groups, and I just actually closed my business down in December because I was getting enough singing jobs to justify just singing, which is like literally all I've been wanting to do like my whole life.
But hold on, there is a twist in that story.
Back the truck up,
because I remember almost around 2 or 3 years ago, you were almost about to call that quits because you had like a voice issue.
Oh yes. So I wasn't gonna call it quits. So I had so it was when I discovered that I had like pretty bad asthma and pretty terrible allergies, like bad, and it was all undiagnosed. So I had gone into an ENT, and this was like 2018 or 2019, and this is the first time I'd really been like gigging like 5 days a week. And then, you're singing 3 hours out of, it's a lot. And I went in and I knew what it was. It was the beginning of a nodule.
Yeah.
And like in college, I got to take some like vocal disorders classes, so
Yeah.
I knew exactly what it was. I went in. I was right. I felt really good about myself.
Yeah,
and then
you self-diagnosed.
Yeah, and then I just went on a path to like correct it, and then I had to get, now I have to take like 2 allergy pills every single day. I've got an inhaler just in case. And yeah, I just have to watch it. Like especially like spring and like, when the mold starts to happen, and then like fall when the ragweed happens.
Yeah.
I sleep with humidifiers. I do all that crap.
Yeah.
Yep.
Kind of kill that off.
Yeah, because it's tough, man. Because like unlike a normal like instrumentalist, like your voice is everything.
Is your instrument. So
yeah.
I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about that too, because I think for singers,
as I drink alcohol.
Yeah, just drink alcohol. I think for singers, a lot of people really don't really know what it takes to sing 4 days a week.
Right.
So you want to tell our viewers, listeners a little bit about that, because I think a lot of young artists,
right,
like they don't know, man. They don't know what it takes.
Right. So I would say, and it's funny because like I've had a couple of people come to me with like a classical training background or like no background at all.
Yeah.
And they'll jump into a band and then they wonder, oh my God, why after the weekend do I have nothing?
Yeah.
Or after even one night, if you're singing in a cover band, normally you're doing like 3 hours, right?
Sheesh. So,
if you're original band, I mean, it's usually 20 to 40 minutes at the most.
Yeah.
So the biggest thing is to get a vocal teacher that knows how to do contemporary styles. Emphasis on contemporary.
Explain that. Explain the big difference.
So that means, classical is like your like arias and your operas and stuff, and that's like singing in the back of your throat. It's blendier. It's more blendy.
Yeah.
Contemporary styles are belting. You need to have somebody who knows how to belt.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about every contemporary style basically uses the same technique.
Yeah.
So we're talking rock, country, Broadway, hip hop. R&B is all using that belting style. It's in a slightly different placement in your mouth depending on the genre, but it's all belting, and you have to be able to harness all this power from your stomach and all the breath in order to do this thing.
Yeah.
And if you do it wrong, that's when people lose their voice, because they're making noise from their vocal cords as opposed to
so
their
that
diaphragm.
that muscle is getting...
It's getting beat up.
Killed.
Yeah, killed, because there's nothing here. I mean, there's nothing here. It's just like these tiny little, tiny little chords. Like they're like vibrating like this. Okay, I know that podcast listeners can't see what I'm doing, but
but some might. They can see over there.
Yeah, like that. They go like this, and when you're constantly belting it, they're basically just slamming together, right?
Yeah.
And if that isn't supported, that's when you start getting nodes. You can get lesions. You can get all sorts of horrible things.
Yeah.
And we hear horror stories all the time from singers and metal bands and all sorts of and even speakers and like people that are just speaking
I've heard of
constantly.
Speakers too.
Yes.
Getting into getting that
the
issue
same
with
problem.
their throat.
Yep. So it like any of us that are just using our voice a lot, like end up having these problems. And a lot of times. And this is like what the ENT told me, and he's totally dead on. Usually when we're on stage, like we're actually like doing a pretty good job of like protecting ourselves, and we're like actually thinking about stuff. It's off stage where everything crumbles, because you're like,
interesting.
You know what I mean? Because now you're like, okay, let's just pretend like you're at the bar, you're talking over people. All of a sudden, you're not thinking about your stomach and like breathing correctly.
Yeah.
Now you're yelling over people.
Yeah, people seldom.
You know what I mean?
Seldom breathe right. Anyways.
Yep. And if you're like super outgoing like me, you're talking a lot and you're just using your voice a lot. Like if you're in a band that does a lot of like screaming, like there's that. I mean, there's like so many other things on top of it. Then there's the substances, right? And like each substance does a different thing, which essentially, well, I shouldn't say that. Most substances just end up leading to dry out. And then when things are dry, because this is so gross, but you need mucus, like a thin, watery mucus on your vocal cords basically all the time. So that's why singers are drinking water all the time, or like breathing in steam. That'll like save you. But like caffeine, sugar, alcohol, smoking and like drugs basically all do the same thing.
Yeah,
I know it's like
they dry you out.
They dry you out. I know it's insane to tell you that cocaine and chocolate are basically on the same list, but they kind of
but
are.
they are on the same list
because it's essentially you've got a blinking red light doing the same thing.
Good night.
We made an effort. So like I would say, you know, get a teacher that knows what they're doing. If you're going to do this for real, get someone who knows what they're doing. Like everyone I know who does this for real has had a teacher and can do it themselves or is currently seeing one. And then get a vocal scope done if you can, by an ENT like once every year, once every couple of years. And it's disgusting and it's usually covered by insurance. And if not, usually they work with artists. Because when I was broke and a little punk rocker, they did it for me for like $100.
So, where on your scale of 1 to 10,
oh boy,
your scale of awesome, right? Would the 80s big hair?
Oh boy, don't get me started.
Female.
Oh,
right?
female. Okay.
Yeah, the
right.
80s, the 80s rock. So, here's where, because I really like, I can't remember the name of the band, but they had a song,
Heart?
Total Eclipse of the Heart.
That's Bonnie Tyler.
Come on.
Okay, that's like 81. So that's like that's at like the beginning. So that still had all the elements of my favorite genre, which is the 70s.
Yeah, totally.
So that had like I will give it up for all the people that are like pulling all those elements from like the 70s into the 80s.
Yeah.
Because the 80s got really, really processed.
Of course, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. We were talking about that. Yes.
We lost all the raw awesomeness that was the 70s.
Yeah.
And then, then all of a sudden technology happened and it was like, holy crap, you couldn't even hear anybody's vocal anymore because it was so covered.
It was processed.
So processed, compressed with like 90 different freaking things on it. You know what I'm talking about.
I love those gals, man. And that's kind of like the reason I brought that up is because it's similar to what you were talking about with diaphragm and strength.
Yeah.
They aren't whispering out tunes.
No,
right?
It's for realsies.
They are.
that
strength of voice. Total Eclipse of the Heart. I can't remember what was the chorus.
Once upon a time there was light in my life. Now there's only love in the dark. There's nothing I can do. It's a total eclipse of the heart.
Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were like, my goodness. I was like, yeah, sing.
Yeah.
Sing. So you said in the 80s decided to get a little more proper.
It was like them. So like that was Bonnie Tyler.
Yeah.
Then of course, the Runaways were the 70s, and then Joan Jett, Lita Ford, and Sherry Curry all went away.
Yeah.
And they did their own thing. But they all kept that big vocal. Heart stayed in. Yeah. Heart. They were huge.
Big
throughout.
Vocals. Yeah.
Fleetwood Mac, huge throughout. That was Stevie Nicks.
Yeah.
Pat Benatar started the late 70s into the early, all throughout the 80s. Huge vocals. That's Heartbreaker. That's Love is a Battlefield. That's
Yep. Yeah, of course, no one could touch Steve Perry, but we could talk about that.
Oh,
he's
dude,
done.
He's
done.
Yeah, he's crazy.
It's over.
And that guy, oh my god, and there's the dude that came in to like sub for him, and I can't remember where he's from, but he is sick. And he's singing with Journey now. And there's been a couple of different guys. Because have you ever seen that movie Rockstar with Mark Wahlberg? Oh my god, it's so horrible and awesome.
I've probably heard of it.
Dude, just watch it. It's just horrible and great. It's Mark Wahlberg and Jennifer Aniston, and it's essentially like, the older rocker is like leaving the band because he can't sing anymore, and so there's like a new guy sitting in the audience. Dude, and that's literally what happened with Journey. Yeah. Like
the lead guy couldn't sing.
Well, he actually like went away to like do his own thing, and then
I think that whole old style
I mean, I love it.
Is even like Steven Tyler. You know, so you listen to those guys, and you listen to how they will navigate a hook, right? So everybody wants to write a great hook,
right?
But you minimize how the vocal, right, is its own tool.
Yeah.
So sometimes in your mind, you're like, okay, I'm just gonna sing it, and it's because if I'm a good singer, but the vocal is a tool. So even listen to Steve Tyler, and he is, I don't wanna close my eyes.
Yeah, right.
I don't wanna fall asleep. I do miss you. Come on.
I know, it's sick.
He's playing.
I know.
It's crazy.
I know.
Right? So, all right. Anyway, so.
We can go on a tangent on this for all
We could go on.
I know.
So, I wanted to talk about young artists. One of the things about this podcast is to help inspire, young creatives to have conversations about things that they'll never want to talk about. Right? And especially depending, when you say young creatives, you're talking about sheltered creatives. In my mind, I'm talking about y'all. I'm talking about y'all. Woo! Right? Sheltered creatives in that regard, that from the older generations, they probably didn't feel like they came up with the same amount of knocks. You know, mama was always there to tell them that their paintings are great. You know, very, very sheltered. You know, when we came up, or families like, dude, sucks.
Yeah.
Right? That sucks to go get a job, right? So if you had to become any type of artist, you had to overcome the truth.
Yes.
Up front.
So many times.
Right?
Yeah.
But now it's the other way, you know, and there's access. I know in my field, videography, somebody could just roll out of college, and if they have the money, they have access, and boom, there they are. They're filmmakers.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
So in the music scene, what would you say to artists to help them get a piece of reality that could potentially save their career before they ruin it?
Okay, here we go. Oh my God, there's so many things. Because I feel like, you know, when we started, there was no social media. It didn't exist.
Yeah.
So we had to just learn from other people that had done it before us and like lectured us and were like, don't do that because it's gonna screw you over in the end.
Yeah.
And so with social media now, and just technology and the internet and everything just being so accessible. I mean, it's just so accessible. I mean, you can just you can do everything that we did, that we paid to do. Like, and just do it. Which is insane. Like, it's insane, right?
Yeah.
But I'm going to say this, and God, I hope it rings. God, I hope people just burn this in their brain. If you wouldn't say it standing on a soapbox in the middle of a stadium, don't freaking post it online.
Interesting. All right, let's pause there. If you wouldn't say it, don't post it online. Okay, what's the dangers?
Oh my God.
I'm letting you go with that.
Do I need to break it down? Jesus Christ. You know, I think that people think that a screen will save them from things, and it won't.
Yeah, from reality.
It won't. Reality is, people will find you and they will destroy you.
Yeah.
And I think that's another thing that is like really, really hard to learn. And we learned it the hard way, which is people will find any way to tear you down.
Yeah.
They will find anything about you.
Yeah. That's a game.
It's just how it is. And especially in entertainment, because there's so many of us and there's so many good people and there's so much. It's, you know, you have to crawl your way around all the horribleness and just emerge. And the people that, I mean, I see people getting taken out all the time because they just don't want to deal with it. I almost got taken out too. I took 2 years off because I couldn't handle it. But you
have to crawl your way around.
You have to wrap your head around the fact that people can be dicks, and you just have to keep going. If this is what you love, you have to keep going, okay? Now back to the social media part of it. if you're going to take a stand about something, anything, I'm talking anything. My favorite color of ice cream is chocolate. Yeah? You're racist? You know what I mean? I mean, people can turn anything. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
People can turn anything into anything. You know what I mean?
Really?
Like, I mean, we see it every freaking day. So it's like, if you are going to post anything, seriously
be
think.
sure that you're gonna stick with that.
Right.
Yeah.
Seriously think about it and be like, okay, you know, and like I deal with a lot of this, like especially like, you know, negative people with like a lot of sense of humor. I'm just like, okay, guy, you know what I mean? But like, I also know, like as someone, an elder millennial, like what I stand for and like what I like, and I'm just like, I don't care, whatever. You can do whatever you want. But, you know, understand there's literally a consequence for literally everything that comes out of your mouth.
Yeah.
So just
everything you post.
Everything. And it's stupid and whatever, and you just have to be cool with it.
Yeah.
And anybody who is like coming in to our world as an entertainer, a singer, a rapper, a dancer, an actor, anybody, a musician who's coming into this, understand that like, you know, yes, you're going to have your supporters, but holy crap, are you going to have people that just want to see you fail? You know? And they're going to be dancing on your grave when you do.
1.7
you know?
right here. It is the truth.
You know what I mean?
It is the truth,
but the best part is that when you do overcome it, you find cool friends like me and Ryan that have gone through it and we're just like, yeah, screw those guys.
Because we've done.
You know what I mean? So
forget those dudes.
Yeah.
We made it.
Right. We already did it.
And maybe we made it because social media was not when we kind of jumped into it.
But like, dude, I had it hard for a couple years, and I'm just like, oh my god, if one more dude says I'm fat and ugly on stage, I'm gonna lose it. And I finally quit for 2 solid years because I couldn't take it. I couldn't handle it.
They were after you.
Oh my god, after me, and I couldn't handle it. And I was younger though. Like this was almost 10 years ago now.
Yeah.
And I had like, you know, when you're like in your 20s and like you're like your ego is involved.
Your ego, you're strong.
And you're like, and now I'm like, I really don't care. I'm like, yep. Like, check it out. You know what I mean? Like, I just, you know what I mean? Like, what do you want from me?
See, I would never even think that was something that people would say.
Dude, and it was weird. Like, people went out of their way. It was bizarre, man. It was bizarre. That's a crazy
psych.
It's weird. But, you know, again, it's like people think they can hide behind a screen and they can, you know, use a username or whatever and just say stuff because they can. And, you know.
So that was your experience.
It was.
That's the crawling that you're talking about.
Yeah.
That's the pulling through.
Right.
So regardless of your ability, your experience.
Didn't matter.
It didn't matter. It's
didn't matter.
We didn't feel like you fit what we perceive.
Yeah, well, you're fat and ugly.
You.
So I'm like, okay. You know, and I couldn't handle it.
So you broke for like 2 years.
I did. And I mean, I came back with a vengeance.
So how did you what page did you turn? Because as artists, it's fans, man.
Yeah.
So as artists, our code is it's got to be on the sleeves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? We don't have any other way than to be sincere and open. So we're the most vulnerable of them. It's like, do you like this picture? No, that picture sucks. I mean, it's the most. Yeah. We're the most vulnerable because we are artists. Our art works.
You just put it out there
in a certain level of purity. So, how?
You want to know? Like,
yes,
it was weird. Okay, so I was out for 2 years. Although I did get into podcasting and radio and learned a lot that way, and it was super fun. But I wasn't on stage, and I ended up with, and this was a former bandmate of mine. There was a friend of ours actually got in trouble with the law, and I ended up having to sub, and they were like desperate for a singer. And I was like, yeah, man, I'll do it. And I said, but you can't post about me. You can't say my name. You can't post any pictures. I'm standing in the back. I will be the pretty little fairy that shows up, sings, and leaves.
Wow.
And I was like, if you can do this, fine, I'll do it. Because for me, it was always just about I just really loved singing. I just loved it so much.
Yeah.
And so I ended up getting accepted in that band, and I've been in that band now for 9 years, I think.
Oof.
And that band, it's like an Elvis tribute band.
Yeah.
And I have to like jump in between like doing like the most Motown style singing and then like opera.
Yeah.
It's like complete ridiculous. It's freaking ridiculous.
Yeah.
And but anyway, you know, those guys were like very I don't know. They handled me very gently for a while. And then I ended up getting in another band, and I said, I will be in your band, but I will only be a backup singer. And they're like, no, you have to sing lead. You're gonna sing lead. And I'm like, fine, but you can't use any of my pictures and you can't use my name. And they're like,
so that
okay.
was the navigate. That was
how I slowly got on it. And then finally I ended up in the band that I have been in now for a while with one of like my best friends, and I've known him for like 15 years. And he actually saw me go through all of this horribleness in that 2-year period. And he was like, I want you in my band. I want you to sing lead, and you're getting your picture taken and you're using your name. And like he, you know how we were just talking about off the quote unquote air about like friends that tell it to you straight are your best friends.
Yeah.
He was like, you're going to look back at 80 years old and wonder what happened to all these years of your life when you were gigging on these amazing stages and doing all this cool stuff. Why are there no pictures? Why are there no video?
Yeah. And why you hidden the back?
Right. And I'm like, and so, so I let him finally use my name, but I would like go into our Facebook and website because I know I know some basic coding on our website, and I would like break in. I would delete all my pictures. I would delete any trace of me online. Because I was so scared it would happen again. Then, let's fast forward all the way to 2020. I deleted all of my social media because I was getting so frustrated with how mean and evil people became in 2020, like during the pandemic, right?
Really?
Dude, I was sick of it. Like it was like every single time I went online, like it was like someone chewing out somebody else. And you know how it is online. Like people don't listen. They just yell a lot.
They just yell a lot.
You know what I mean? And I'm just like, Jesus. So I deleted everything. I took a year and analyzed and learned about social media. I watched every documentary. I like looked up everything, and I was like, I'm gonna win. You know what I mean? So it's been a slow process.
Yeah.
And then I realized, like it took a lot. I realized, I was like, you know what this is? This is just a stupid database that people willingly enter their information for other people to buy, and that other businesses, artists, and whatever people can sell them their own product. And I'm going to learn how to work these algorithms, and I'm going to win. And, you know, just taking the, the personal element out of it really helped. And then it became, fine, do whatever you want. I don't care.
Yeah,
I'm like, actually, if you mention my name, even if it's bad, it helps my algorithm.
It has the algorithm, bro.
So I'm just like, great. You know, it was a total reframe. Total reframe.
Interesting story. I hope you guys are out there listening to this and really allowing it to sink in. I'm definitely learning some things just having this conversation. And I think a lot of people probably endure more in social media that they know.
Oh yeah.
Right? And that they are even willing to admit.
Oh God. Well, and the thing is that it's just like, you know, like I'm like a white chick. Like I have not the race card at all. I'm not dealing with that. Like I'm not. So it's just like, then I go to like my friends that like sing in the band with me that are now they're getting that element, you know. So not only are we girls, so we're getting that part, you know, and getting judged as to like how we look as girls and whatever. Now they're getting the other element. And I'm just like, Jesus, you know what I mean? So
people, man.
Yeah, it's just like, God, can we just do what we do and leave us alone?
You can't, man. You can't. And you are, I guess as artists, we are, you know, with social media, we know we have to keep feeding the beast in some way.
Oh yeah, it's a sadly necessary evil.
Yeah.
And I mean, frankly, I just use it for like SEO. I literally post and get off.
Yeah. I mean, for me too, even Facebook, even programs like this is my way of saying, okay, if I'm going to participate, I want to participate with something healthy, something that gives back to the community, something that celebrates people. I'll tell you an interesting story. So this week, I started to mess around with AI a little bit.
Oh.
Right?
Oh, no.
With Mid-Journey.
Oh,
right?
okay.
So
wait, what is that?
So Mid-Journey is an AI application / prompt, right?
Okay.
It's an app that, so I went on there and I always wanted to do a AI generated series of if your wedding vendor was a superhero.
Oh.
All right?
Yeah.
So what it would be is that, so I went in and I said, wedding DJ superhero. And then the AI generates these great looking images.
Yeah.
Right? So it was great. I had a nice DJ, looked like a superhero. The officiant.
Right.
As a superhero. And it turned out really great. I'll show you the pictures after I'm going to show. But yeah, you post that and then you lose some followers over that. I'm like, who would be angry about? You see,
dude. Okay, you know what's funny? I just posted about this. So, and then I learned from like doing all this. A lot of that is they're bots, scammers, or somebody doing the follow for follow method, and then you didn't follow them back.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
So it's bots.
Yeah, a lot of bots. There's tons of bots. Like if
explain what the bots are and how this.
So like there's certain companies that'll go on and they'll buy follows. If you ever heard of Famoid before, okay. So during my year of learning about social media, I learned about there's a couple different methods to earn followers. Right. One of the methods is to buy followers until you get a certain level and then you appear in the algorithm essentially. This no longer works because of, everybody started doing it. When a documentary called Fake Famous started coming out, right? Watch it, it's really good.
Yeah.
Anyway, so half those people are real, half of them are just random accounts that people, you can tell because it's just like, it was created yesterday and there's one picture on it.
Yeah. But they follow you.
Yeah, but they follow you. And, with my own band, like I'm doing the follow for follow method, which is essentially like the tried and true method to get followers.
Yeah.
You follow them, they follow you back. If they don't follow you, you get rid of them. If they do follow you, you keep them.
Yeah.
But like as I was unfollowing people, I found so many of those kind of accounts that were essentially like devoid of anything.
Yeah, bots.
Yep. No post, no nothing. And then you get the scammers that's just like some scantily clad chick that's like,
yeah.
My name's Clara.
Yeah, Yugoslavia.
Yeah.
You're like,
how's it going? Yeah, I had somebody try to sell me drugs yesterday. I was like, are you serious? You're really leaving a paper trail here? Are you that dumb? Like, oh my God. Like, I realized we do 70s music and stuff, but seriously.
Yeah. Just like, oh yeah.
Like, holy God.
Yeah, they might want some drugs.
On Instagram? Really, guy? Paul. Jesus.
Probably the FBI and CIA.
I know.
Their numbers are probably down.
They're hiding at my house.
Yeah, their numbers are down.
Ready.
They're like, oh, we need to sell, 1 more kilo. Let's just hit up everybody on Facebook, man.
Let's just hit them up. Yeah.
We got to pay for this.
Got to do a fundraiser.
CIA Christmas party, man. Next thing they hear is they come for me to send some men in black. Hey!
I know. Me and you, we're going
some
away.
Men in black.
Yeah, when you see us not show up next time, it's because of this conversation right here.
We didn't kill ourselves.
No.
It's the CIA's trying to boost their drugs. They need like $100K for the rest of the year for the Christmas party.
My God.
So they're hitting up Kaity.
That's right.
So Kaity, this was great. This was great. I think there's a lot that people could really glean.
Yeah.
As creatives, when we traverse this universe, I think you phrase it really well. You're crawling through.
Yeah.
All right. It's like you're crawling through the descent. you know, and and the descent. I mean, it's not just about the art; it's about you, because it comes from someplace. I mean, I did a podcast, one of my other podcasts. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I do remember talking about the awards on the wall way back here. That's all framed, and I said one of the things. Oh, I remember what I was saying. It was about being broken.
Oh,
right. It was about embracing the brokenness. I can't remember the name of the person who says it, but it says the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. So as creatives, we're broken all over the place, right? And my need for affirmation is a part of my brokenness. So that's something that I have come to accept, you know, as a person of color, you know, to be affirmed in a space. Some of those spaces are small within the market that I'm in. So, I just said it. I said, I need those things on the wall.
Yeah.
For me personally. And those are my broken parts that I accept.
Right.
Because I know the sum of those broken parts, when they're together, it's way greater.
Yeah.
Than all the little pieces separate. And I think that you embody that the best, to see the places that you've been from, accept these broken things, and then pull them together to create your whole. And once your whole is in there, you know that it's all greater than all the other petty stuff, all the people, all the this, all of that. It's who we are creatively, collectively, as individuals. It's way greater than all of the places that we're from.
Yeah.
You know?
That sounds really good.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Way. And that's kind of that's where I'm at in the journey. Yeah. It's a good marker.
I mean, I think every artist has, you know, the 5 love languages, you know those. I think almost every artist is words of affirmation. I think all of us need it. Like, we have to have it, or otherwise we feel like we're just floundering around and we have no idea what we're doing, you know. And much like yourself, I'm definitely like that, but I need it from my band. Yeah. I need it from them. Yeah. Like, am I doing the lyrics correct, or is it? Yeah. Are we on the right path? Yeah. You know what I mean?
Oh, Kaity, you on fire today, man?
Yeah. It's a lot of that. It's a lot. You know what I mean? It's a lot of, like, you know, rock and roll jargon. But yeah, I mean, it's for sure.
So how can our followers follow you? You want to throw out some Instagram and TikTok?
Oh yeah. So I'll do the band, since that is what we're really trying to push these days. Yeah. So the band, it's a 1970s original rock band called Sunflower Fox and the Chicken Leg. So if you like bands like Heart, Fleetwood Mac, Led Zeppelin, Thin Lizzy, The Who, Bad Company, things like that, you will like this band. It's Greta Van Fleet-ish. Lots of big heavy rock kind of stuff. So we've got a website at sunfoxband.com. We're on Instagram at Sunflower Fox and the Chicken Leg. On Spotify, it's Sunflower Fox and the Chicken Leg, all over the place. We've got one cover out currently right now, so we could grab all our pages. Yeah. And then we'll be releasing a new single soon here. We just signed with a PR company, so they're helping us with that. And we've been working with some, like, seriously insane people. Like, I can't believe we're working with them. Yeah. And it's bizarre.
Yeah. How about Instagram?
Instagram, Sunflower Fox and the Chicken Leg, and you can follow me at Sing Kaity Heart, and KAITY HEART, like the band.
At TikTok?
No.
Not yet.
Dude, no. I can't do it, man. I can't do it. I'm not doing it.
Yeah. You better do it. So, hey, thanks for listening. This is 1.7 Podcast. Hit us up on Instagram. And, hey, we're messing with her, but we're not on TikTok yet, but we're definitely on YouTube. So go ahead and follow us there. Hey, Kaity, thank you for being here.
Thanks, buddy. It's good to see you again.
Appreciate you guys. All right, thanks, guys. Follow us and definitely share the content. And definitely go over there and follow Kaity and let her know that you heard her here and was inspired by her talk. All right, chat soon. Peace. Bye. Thank you for tuning in to the 1.7 Podcast. We really do appreciate you taking your time out of your day to give us a listen. And we do hope that you really got something today out of the conversation. Be sure to follow us. We definitely want to be friends over at Instagram at Zandley Media. Until next time, keep creating.